Today in the crypto space, we see Bitcoin coming down ever so slightly below that $70,000 mark, and Ethereum still right around that $3,500 level, however, also coming down. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, have a mix of green and red throughout the market, a few dips, a few rallies like Filecoin, Litecoin, Celestia, just to name a few. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin, one project that could be part of a big up-and-coming narrative, and that project is called Seamless. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here. We could definitely see that the general market is kind of going sideways, price action wise. However, the volume is coming down. The market volume is coming down, suggesting that people are not really that interested at the current moment. Now, we see Bitcoin going sideways, Ethereum going sideways, BNB getting a nice bounce to the upside, up approximately 5%. And if we keep on going down the market, you can see that there are some gainers and some retracers. And this is the reality of a sideways market, in an accumulation perhaps, or waiting for Bitcoin to kind of make a decision. Are we going to be climbing up to higher levels, or are we going to finally roll over and get those fire sales going? But you can't say that there are still some good opportunities out here, some projects that are still running to the upside. We have Chainlink getting a retracement. We have, what else do we have? Uniswap double topping. Polygon Matic still in that retracement, coming down ever so slowly, nice and slow grind to the downside, maybe by the dips, maybe not. But then we get like Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin, all forks of Bitcoin, looking pretty good here. 10% pops to the upside, right? We have Near Protocol coming down for a nice retracement to the downside. If you're interested in the Near Protocol ecosystem, this could be the time to start looking or planning out an offensive strategy in the short term to start accumulating, right? I feel like the market is not giving us absolute opportunities just yet. Slow retracements, a little bit of retracement here and there is not really an opportunity, right? If you start over accumulating and you run out of dry powder, the issue is that when we do get those major opportunities, double digit dips, then you're not going to have the capital and the dry powder to deploy. So we got to be very selective. We got to have our our entries, have our targets, even bearish targets, so that we're prepared to buy those dips. And Near, although it's coming down, it's only about 4%. Is it enough? And if you look at the last 7 days, it's still up 9%. So although we are in a retracement, is it enough? Guys, think about it. Filecoin getting a nice bounce to the upside, waking up ever so slightly, making those nice higher highs right now, pretty good, up 9%. Stacks looking pretty good. However, still within the consolidation, nothing that interesting. We have XLM, Stellar looking okay though, up only 4%, but at least breaking a structure and making a higher high. That's exactly what we need here for this market. HBAR kind of going sideways. Dog with Hat, of course, what a beast. It keeps on going and non-stop. That's the name of the game here for these meme coins. You never know. And then all of a sudden you get, bullish targets, bullish projects such as BitTensor Tau coming down again, another 5% for today. Total 7 days, about 11%, 10%. But big picture, it's been already in a retracement zone for a good while, guys. So this is why it's important to understand where you're taking risk. BitTensor Tau, lots of basically altcoins, large cap altcoins have been retracing or could be retracing in the immediate short term, because whatever runs up really hard, guys, leaves those volume gaps below, and those are vulnerabilities, right? So just consider that getting in at the bottom before a pump is probably the best thing to watch out for. And of course, today I'm going to be talking about one project called Seamless. Seam is the ticker that is pretty pretty bullish at the end of the day, coming in from a very hot narrative. We'll talk about that in a second, of course. A bit of a dip on Injective, maybe that's an opportunity. Celestia Teal looking pretty good, and that's about it really, guys. The market is pretty sideways still. We do have some slow grinders to the upside, I'm aware of that. However, the general market is not as hot as it was before. We got Ribbon Finance looking great. However, it's only up 4% today. Okay, it's still good, no doubt, but nothing to really, be celebratory over, because, retracements can come in, and we can see like a lot of projects are rolling over. Even the WLD, WorldCoin rolling over. Chile's is kind of waking up, finally doing something, but still, the market is not really giving us an edge to suggest that it's, an opportunity to get into risky scenario. So the only way you're going to get in right now into the market, considering risk, is getting in with a great risk to reward ratio opportunity. All right, guys, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Guys, I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin. Let's use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, because at the end of the day, Bitcoin does come down fulfilling this consolidation. This overall consolidation means that we'll get some peaks and valleys along the way, and of course the altcoin market will get impacted by those peaks and valleys. At this current moment, we're seeing a bit of bearishness for today. We do have a few hours left to close this daily candle. However, guys, the way it looks, if we close this way, it does look quite bearish, as it is engulfing previous price action. So if we do fulfill the daily momentum, as I've been saying here on the channel, watch out for that daily, guys. It's not looking good, and it's very likely we come right back down to the bottom of the range, and also giving us a bit of data to come up with our next plan. All right, let's look at this in a little bit more detail. Of course, the plan has to involve structure, right? We're not getting any real structure just yet. We're building it. It's coming in. We got a nice rally to the upside with nice bullish divergence, nice follow through, nice long positions placed here, and then all of a sudden time to de-risk, right? Given the fact that, why not? Why can we get to this level and potentially get another dip down at the 786, 886 retracement to the top? It's also very possible that we get into a symmetrical triangle, some sort of bull flag or consolidation. So what we got to do is be patient here. Be very, very patient, because the oscillators, especially the daily, now the MACD, the EMAs are open up again. Remember what I always say, be careful with these EMA crosses. Wait for at least one green histogram bar, because we could get that fake out. And guess what? We are getting it at the current moment, and it's unfortunate because it did look like it wanted to break out and make that higher high, but unless we get the confirmations on the daily, just understand that the current momentum, the trend in the momentum on this RSI on the daily time frame is still to the downside. And guess what I always say, that mean reversion play, we're seeing the price action kind of go sideways, and the momentum is also going sideways, while allowing the moving average to catch up to the momentum line, which is the purple line. Now that it's caught up, let's see what happens here. Do we get into an expansion, get oversold, maybe get a pop to the upside? Who knows what's going to happen? At the end of the day, we're looking for an edge. At this point, getting into a fresh long or a short on Bitcoin is quite risky. So I would be very, very, hesitant. Double top, maybe. Get oversold, maybe. At this point, there's too many maybes. So what I would be doing is waiting for this consolidation and then coming up with a plan. It's likely that it becomes a continuation pattern to the upside. If it's an asymmetrical triangle, building a nice level of support with lots of volume into this level, and then we can start building a long position into this zone, while still understanding that a stop loss below 60,000 is likely, because then we can start coming down to a bearish price target at about 52. In the meantime, you know where your invalidation is, and we'll start building that data to make it stronger. That thesis needs to be strong going forward. All right, guys, let's move on. Let's take a look at SEAM. SEAM is the project I want to do a focus on a little bit here today. Let's take a look at what it is just for a second. SEAM protocol, okay? SEAM is the ticker SEAM. It's at about $4.75. Market cap, max supply is at about 100, total supply is at 100, and circulating supply, there's nothing at this current moment. Now, of course, you could definitely go and check out, I don't mean nothing, there's nothing here on CoinGecko. Go check out the scanner, go check out the team, go check out all the fundamental things that make you bullish, but there's one thing that I want to focus on. The fact is that it's part of the base ecosystem, and it is a DeFi play. Of course, a lot of the projects on these new ecosystems are new, and that means that they get the first mover advantage, and it could be up and coming. Every new network, it's not new, but it's picking up hype at this current moment. Base is what it is, right? The decentralized network that belongs within the Coinbase ecosystem, which, could be the safe haven for this, FUD that we're getting on Base. But that's besides the point. At the end of the day, every network, every new blockchain tends to have a bit of DeFi, obviously a DEX, a meme coin, a gaming potentially, an NFT platform, and so on and so forth. This is the potential DeFi platform for Base, and it's not a bad idea to consider building a bit of a position. Now, if we get into the website, you can see that lending and borrowing and evolved, and there's a lot of good data, a lot of good information. Coinbase, of course, being first on the list, Aave, Uniswap, Maker, 1inch. There's a lot of, let's say, a lot of relationships here within the ecosystem, so not bad. But of course, DeFi borrowing on autopilot, that's seamless. The Base users choose seamless to lend, borrow, and multiply their favorite DeFi assets. Guys, check it out. Do your deep dive. There's documentation. There's a blog, a few posts there for sure, some stats, some data, and I feel like just because it's on Base, an up-and-coming network, it could be one that is interesting. All right, guys, let's look at some price action. Let's see what's going on here. We can see that we're in a decent accumulation zone. Now, it's not the clearest, but it is quite clear. Of course, you guys know that I don't like wicks, but wicks happen, right? When you're talking about a very low market cap project, it does happen. Now, market cap wise, where are we? Let's see. Is there a market? There's not even a market cap listed. Well, I can assume that it's, a lower cap project, right? Which means that ultimately we're going to get a lot of volume in here, a lot of volatility into this level, quick wicks, sell-offs, and all of that good stuff. But as soon as it becomes a large cap project, right, it starts to find its stability with its volatility. And if you're looking for those gains, it's now where you got to be taking a bit of risk, especially where it is in its life cycle. It's a low cap project, right? So, and an up and coming network. So what we're looking at is, where's market participation at? And it's very clear that market participation belongs right here between this range. And we do have a bit of ambiguity, because look at this spike. But generally speaking, it does fizzle away a little bit right around this area. We got a spike right into here, but look at all this cluster, point of controls here, sideways price action. And what I like the best about this is we're creating a higher lows. Now, as we keep on knocking on this horizontal level, especially this one right here at $5.82 more or less, it starts to become very likely where we start breaking out. And if we break out, yes, we're going to have a bit of an issue. Why? Because again, we have this spike of volume, all these little tiny spikes of volume, and it's very indicative of a very volatile asset, which, again, is part of the characteristic of a small cap new project. So this is where we're at here. Do we take a bit of risk? Now, what I like the best, again, is sideways consolidation, lots of volume, point of control, higher lows, ready to go, good narrative, and then we need to identify, where does the real risk come into play? All the way up here, $8.50, $8.60. Why? There's a lot of emotional people up here. Okay, so what I want to do is kind of put a red box, because I do expect it to be weak, but I also don't want to ignore the fact that we got a spike of volume right into here. So I'm going to put a horizontal boom right here just to keep us visually in check. And you can see we got bottoms and tops and bottoms and all of that right into that level, which is obviously a bunch of noise. But nonetheless, even if we do break out, get a bit of a dip and a reaction there, maybe we continue to the upside and we can take full advantage of this weak spot right here on the volume profile. Lots of empty spots. But the reason why we have a lot of emotion here is that people that got in early are potentially still holding the bag. There are some individuals that might be still holding that are quite salty right now, not very happy that they had to endure such a dip, and on the way down, they were angry, holding the bag, holding the red, and ultimately exit liquidity, okay, up here. Now, you can see, look at this spike to the upside, how quickly people took profit, because ultimately, again, there's a lot of people that are not happy holding the bag, so they're like, you know what, I'm going to cut myself off and get out. And as it keeps on going, this is what we're getting here. However, there's going to be a day where we do get that bottom, that level of confidence where we should be buying in. Now, if you look at the RSI here on the 4 hour, yes, we came from overbought. We're back in the chop zone. The MACD is potentially pushing down, potentially coming down to the bearish control zone again. And it's likely that we can maybe hang out here for a little while longer. all fair game. But that means that this is going to become a pressure point, a level of which we're going to build a lot of pressure. And as soon as this pressure boils over and it gets really, really hot, we could definitely start breaking out of horizontal resistance and blasting through the volume gap. And in fact, if you look at a big picture, there's no reason why we can't get into price discovery eventually. But again, I understand de-risking. Where's the majority of the risk? In my opinion, it's all the way here at about $8.60 because of all this cluster of people. But it doesn't mean that it's going to get a huge rejection and make a lower low. What it means that we could get a reaction, people selling off, and then we could be buying the dip. People that bought down here might consider it a opportunity, and we buy the dip and reaccumulate. All right, let's get into the daily quick, because the daily might give us a bit of a different perspective so that we can eliminate some of the noise and let this volume profile load. And one thing that comes to my attention straight away is that, yes, we still have the volume gaps, a bit of spike of volume right into here. Look at the RSI. It has not gotten overbought yet. Okay, so a lot of the projects that are already really doing hot right now and doing great stuff are already in overbought conditions. We are leaving oversold conditions with a bullish divergence right into here, lower lows on the price action, higher lows on the RSI, which is a nice class A bullish divergence. And to be honest, I don't even see a follow through from the bullish divergence just yet. I'm waiting for the break of this range, suggesting that people are buying the dip and preparing and accumulating in the zone in preparation for the breakout again through the volume gap and maybe getting into price discovery. So that's what I'm looking for. Is let's see how we can resolve this and get overbought. And the MACD is looking great. EMAs to the upside, green histogram bars here on the daily looking pretty good for a continuation. It came from severe bearish control zones, and then all of a sudden a nice rally, a dip, and a continuation into the bullish control zone. Very, very possible here, guys. We know that the market is hot. We know base is talked about significantly in the last little while, and why not build within the ecosystem, build within the narrative, and potentially see that base in this bull run could be thematic of the previous. And that's exactly what I'm expecting here, is a bit of interest here in the overall ecosystem as we progress. So not bad. And again, lots of good areas of invalidation. Now, if you look at the consolidation right into here, you're smack in the middle right at the point of control, which is not bad of a place to be. Now, I know it's a 50-50 shot, because I always say, guys, you want an edge. But if you're looking from a breakout perspective, which is what I'm trying to look at here, is what about if we break out? I want to be prepared for that. Buying in right now is not a bad idea, given the fact that we're making higher lows. If we come down a little bit more and we get down to about $4, I would be buying the dip again. And if we come down a little bit more to test the $3.40, I would be happy to DCA a little bit more. Now look at the volume. I'm not the only one with this idea. The market is building in a bit of volume into here. You can see it's picking up, which means that ultimately markets are interested. Market participants are getting interested. And as we are building these higher lows, you can see that there's some individuals that are not completely selling their bags. There's holders here, or else we would see deep retracements all the way back to previous lows and maybe even lower lows if people were selling off. The sell-off is less weak, is not as strong as the holders. The holders are accumulating and holding and hodling for the potential breakout here. So momentum is in our favor. The MACD strength, with the strength of the trend, is in our favor. The price action is in our favor, holding very nicely, making slightly higher highs and higher lows. And we got a lot of volume here suggesting a breakout. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a huge favor and slap that like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join that Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. And the best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.